I thought I had a perfect marriage, but giving in to temptation actually ripped it apart.
Alison and Simon were married in 1974 after being brought together by a love of music.
We went into our marriage with a firm commitment that we thought was for life.
They were happily married for 15 years and had 3 children. But then Simon was tempted by another woman.
I'd never looked elsewhere. It was just a surprise when I succumbed subtly to someone who made me feel appreciated, perhaps in a way that was different. It was a bit flattering. I was not able to express this because, I was the person who could cope. I was a church leader, and so I thought that I'd be able to handle the situation, but I didn't deal with it, and eventually things went seriously wrong.
As a result of the affair, Simon moved out of the family home and lived alone.
Temptation works bit by bit. You have a thought, it gradually turns into something that dwells in your mind, and then it turns to action. And bit by bit, you get ensnared. I really did feel that I had turned into a pretty nasty person because it went contrary to everything that I'd promised to my wife. I really hit rock bottom when the relationship with the other person ended, and so I really felt I'd lost my wife, my children, my nice home, my reputation. That was at my lowest ebb. Inside, I was really, really destroyed, I think. I think if you are down a hole, someone needs to kind of reach down. And Alison reached out to me in a way. She came to see me in my bedsit flat.
After a dark period of separation, Alison eventually forgave Simon and took him back.
Many people said it was not the right thing to do, but I felt in my heart it was. I believe God really gave me a strength, and it encouraged me to carry on.
Alison and Simon are about to celebrate their 38th wedding anniversary.
Well then, what's to be the reason for becoming man and wife?
Their experience has taught them that temptation is real and not to be ignored.
I can't honestly say it won't happen again, and I think we just have to be on our guard. We have to be aware and alert to the things that first started to invade our marriage in the first place.
There is love.
Certainly I've learnt that temptation is powerful and can be persistent. I believe that by sharing and talking about temptations in the future would be a way to avoid succumbing to them and receive strength from friends, our partners, our wives, our church, to help us deal with the issues that we face.
Today, Dan Head seems like just anyone else you would pass on the street. But inside, he battles with the temptation that nearly killed him.
It all started with peer pressure. Back when I was 13, I used to hang about with guys older than me and really wanted to be accepted by them. And one of the ways of being accepted was to take drugs that they were taking. Heroin was just another drug that, you know, in my eyes, could be enjoyed. And that was a temptation. It was almost that unknown, you know, the kind of the forbidden fruit, if you like.
By the time he was 17, Dan was homeless and a heroin addict.
It stripped me of my dignity, of my self-worth. It stripped me of my family, of friends, of hopes, of any dreams that I had really, and left me as a shell, just trying to cope with the shame and the guilt and the self-loathing that was inside me at that time. And unfortunately, the only thing that made that bearable was heroin.
Heroin pushed him into a cycle of drug abuse, crime, and then prison. But ultimately, it was prison that led him to his first steps of recovery.
When I was in prison and I was given an option to clean toilets or to go to church, and the church just sounded like the better option at that point. When I went to church, I met a gentleman that played a very major part in showing me God could help me to change my life.
After a long journey through rehabilitation, Dan finally got his life back. He's now one of the counsellors at Yeldall Manor, where he helps other addicts to recover.
At this moment, I'm 7 years clean and I'm married. I have an amazing job helping people overcome their addiction and watching them grow and leave this place. And yet, I'm still tempted to take heroin. I wish I could say I knew why, and I don't. I don't know why that is. I don't know why it comes so quickly and so harshly sometimes, and it can be at home on my own. It can be on the street. It can be anywhere. When the urge hits, and the only thing that I can do is overcome that urge and keep fighting that. While I focus in on God and while I'm looking to God for that and drawing my strength from God, I know that I'll never go back to prison, or I know that I'll never go back to taking heroin. And in that respect, God plays the biggest part of all within my life and my recovery.
Cast your cares on Him, all that weigh you down, all that scares and fills your mind with fear. Cast your cares on Him, all you want to be, all you want to leave behind, and all you want to see. believe